In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can create conditional formatting rules in Google Sheets where the rules are linked to specific cells. The advantage of this is it's easier to maintain those rules and make changes. You simply just need to make changes to those cells and your formatting rules will automatically update. And it's also easier to see how you set up those rules and what the different thresholds and cutoffs are. In this example here, I've got a list of the top stocks in the world based on market cap. I've got their PE ratios, their year-to-date change, and I'm going to use conditional formatting to highlight which stocks have been doing particularly well this year. So these year-to-date changes are as of September 16th, and I'm going to set up 3 different tiers for how they've been performing. Level 1, I'm going to say are stocks that are up 30% or more. Level 2 are stocks that are up at least 20%. And for level 3, stocks that are up 10% or more. Now with that set up, I can go ahead and create my conditional formatting rules. I'm going to select column F, click on Format, Conditional Formatting, and you can see it's selected my range F1 to F1000. For the format rules, I'm going to select Custom Formula Is, and now I'm going to type in my formula. Type in equals, and look at if the value in F1 is greater than this cell here, which is I2. And it's important to freeze this cell so that it always is looking at that cell. So to freeze it, I'm going to type in the $, the letter I for the column, $, again, and then 2 for the row. So now it's always looking at cell I2. The one problem here is this conditional formatting rule is also highlighting this header. So to exclude text values, what I'm going to do is also add the AND statement and look at if it's a number. So is number, so it needs to be a number. That's what I'm telling it. It has to be a number, and then it has to be greater than that 30%. So now you can see this is no longer being highlighted, but it is highlighting values that are more than 30%. What I can also do is change the formatting style if I want. So let's say I want a darker green, white font. Even though that looks white, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be formatted as white. It's actually set to automatic, so you may need to actually go in and change it anyways. So now I've got a distinct black-green formatting applied with a white font for these cells where the value is at least 30% or more. Now, if I want to create another conditional formatting rule for this value of 20% or more, I can just click on this option here to add another rule. And when I do so, Google Sheets is going to copy my formula, making it really easy for me to just make an adjustment here. So rather than looking at I2, I'm going to be looking at I3. And this time I'm going to change the formatting so it's perhaps a lighter shade of green, but distinct enough that I can see that it's at a lower threshold. I'm going to click on Add Another Rule and now do the same thing. This time I'm looking at I4. And let's adjust this as well so we have a lighter shade of green once more. And I can decide whether I want a black font or a white font. And now I've set up my conditional formatting rules. So it's really easy now to see what these rules are. And if I want to make changes, let's say I've got too many that are being highlighted in that level 1 tier. So I can change this to, say, 50%. And now you can see now that dark highlighting is applied to fewer cells because that threshold has updated. And this is where that advantage comes into play, where I can just make the changes here without going into the conditional formatting rules each and every time. But let's say I want to highlight all the cells in the row, not just the values. Here's how I can do that as well. So I've got my conditional formatting rules set up, but right now they're applying to just F1 through F1000. To fix this, I'm going to also include A1 to F1000. So now my formatting rules are going to apply across all of these columns. What I also need to do, however, is freeze column F. So I'm going to add a $sign before F here as well. And so now you can see the formatting is getting applied across these cells. I'm going to click on Done. And I don't see the conditional formatting rules here. I actually have to click on my data set here just so I can see which rules are applied. I need to adjust these ones because these ones are not spread across all those columns. I'm going to go in here, add a $sign in front of before the F as well, and repeat that here as well. And so now all my rules are going to apply across all the columns. But actually the one thing I forgot to do is change this to A1 as well. So it's always important to make sure that you not only change the rule, but you change the range to make sure that it's applying to all those values. And as I click away, you'll see the formatting rules now have applied. Now it's a lot easier to see which stocks are the top performers, which level they fall into, and I don't have to look just at column F because the formatting is going to apply to every single cell in the row. Now if I wanted to, I can change these different rules. So let's say 30%, 20%, and my conditional formatting updates really easily like that without having to go back into format, conditional formatting rules, and make the changes there. So it's a really easy way to link your conditional formatting rules to cells in Google Sheets. The key thing to remember is to freeze those cells to make sure that those rules do not change, and that regardless of where you are on your spreadsheet, it's always going to be looking at those specific cells. The key thing to remember is to freeze them properly and to update your range so it's looking at the right cell and the range is correct. So that's a wrap for this video. I hope you did like it and learned something. If you did, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.